So yesterday or the weekend, we had another sudden emergency phone call. It was a really strange time this time because they rang us and they said, look, there's a horse that needs to be rescued immediately right now, and we have to go, and it takes 2 hours to get her closest to a car to get her in, closest to the transport, because she was so high up the mountains. So we're like, okay, fine, let's go right now, let's get it sorted. The person who tells us, we trust him because he knows that we've got a waiting list that's huge, and we know that we can't take them all, and we are at full capacity, and this really is the last one that we can take for now. We just don't have the space. So when he tells us that it's an emergency and needs to come now, we know that it really is. And it turns out that she hadn't had any food for at least 3 days, and she'd sort of been neglected since months, but 3 days she'd been without food and water, and she had to walk 2 hours to get to the trailer. So we all got ready on Saturday morning to go meet this guy who was going to pick her up for us, and we'd get ready for the walk and go get her, and then we head off. And then we had a phone call saying, look, we can't go right now, and we didn't really know why, and then it was a very strange day. We didn't know the full details. In the end, the owner was found, and he contacted the other guy, and he said that we were not allowed on the land, so we don't know exactly where she came from, so someone else had to go get her and walk her, and she still came later in the afternoon, and she still came as an emergency, and she's here. But we didn't get to go in the end because, I don't know, maybe they knew that we would put it on camera. So, and be honest about it. So we didn't do the journey, but poor her, she did. Luckily, the guy who was working with us, he went the day before when he found out about her, gave her some food, so she had enough to survive the night to get a bit of energy for the next day. So he went and did that. And skip to now, here she is. And immediately when she turned up, we said, you know, she's not that bad condition. I know for many of you who are going to be watching this video, you're going to say, oh my God, this poor horse, she's so skinny. Yes, she is. But compared to the horses we deal with on a day-to-day basis, she's good condition. I know that's really, really sad for us to say, but I mean, if you even look at her next to Jingle, who we've had a year nearly, she's not the worst. However, when we saw her just walking from the trailer to here, we see that there is some sort of problem. I'm not sure what yet. We've tried once now to pick her feet out, and she cannot get the balance, and she looks incredibly uncomfortable. I'm not sure why. As you can see, her conformation is incredibly strange. She's incredibly bum high, and there's a lot of discomfort going on in the back end, and I don't know why. She's also very, very itchy. I'm holding this bucket. I thought she was going to come and eat from me, but she's obviously camera shy. She's really, really cuddly until you have a camera, apparently. But she's really itchy. She's got a problem with her tail on her bum, and she's always scratching on her face. Hey, love. He's here. And she's really, really sweet. Do you not like us filming you, huh? You want to be out there free with the others. We have got her in here for the first couple of nights just so we can monitor what she's eating and how much she's pooing, because she hadn't eaten for a few days and their stomach is so fragile. We wanted to be sure that everything was working properly, and it seems to be going okay-ish. I mean, she's not pooing as much as we would like her to do to be totally comfortable. She's a bit compacted, but she's doing all right. Hey. And yeah, so we are going to go introduce her to hopefully Cadet. We're going to try and Cadet's paddock because he's got space for a girlfriend, and he's got a bit of space, and to give her a bit more movement. And we'll see how we get on. We have to go the long way to get her to a new paddock because, as I quite often keep saying, we're overrun with horses and we have to do a bit of Tetris to make paddocks, and it's easier than having to tie up some of the horses. So we've got a slightly longer walk round to get to the back end of Cadet's paddock because we are overflowing, bursting at the seams with horses until we get our new land. Can't wait for the day we have our new land and they can all run free on the track system. So always we start our horses with little walks and start the process slowly, but this is very new for her and she's going to do very little at the beginning. And we've got the vet coming either today or tomorrow, hopefully, just to give a heads up and check and see what's going on. Right, here we go, see what happens.
Hello, today we're gonna look at a new horse we have and she's right here. I'm gonna grab her and today we're gonna wash her feet a little bit and we'll take her out for a little walk. We're not doing too much with her yet because she's a bit skinny, but you're gonna see in a second. So we're gonna wash her feet a little bit because it's still very dirty and full of poop and everything. So we're gonna clean her up a little bit, get her a bit more comfortable. And then we're gonna pick up her feet and take her for a little walk, see how she'll do. Not too long because she's still very skinny, doesn't have that much muscles yet. So we have her 2 paddock mates following us, just so it makes her a little bit more comfortable and relaxed in the new place, so it's not as stressful. So she was first with Cadet, a gelding from us, and they got along quite fine, we thought, but then when we took Cadet out, she really freaked out when she was alone. So now they're kind of like a threesome. We put her with 2 other mares, and it helps.
So she's been here about a week now and she's sort of settling in a bit. We had the vet come out. The vet was in a bit of a rush, so we didn't get a lot of footage, but it's a bit sad really. She looked at her 1 second and said, that's a horse who's suffered abuse all of her life. And I mean, she's experienced with it, she's seen it here, and she can see your sweet little nature in what she's suffered. But so she had her a bit of a check over and she said it's probably one of these cases where she's been malnourished her whole life. We can't be for sure with her because we don't know, but it's quite common here. We've seen horses before that have been fed, for example, Nella was only fed raw potatoes and straw. She's had another horse only fed bananas, but she's got all the symptoms showing that she's been malnourished her whole life and she's got a problem with her bones and her growth and things like this, probably been ridden too early. So there's not a great diagnosis that she could do in this point. Now this is her new friend. You might notice again that we've had to swap over paddocks. She got a little bit too friendly with Cadet, so we tried Jingle and Dakika. Oh. They've only been friends today and I'm bravely standing in the middle. I think it is going to be the start of a good relationship for these two. They're in the same boat and the others are really already got their close, tight friendships. And these two are both new and they've lost, and as a first meeting, they're going on quite well. So fingers crossed, and we'll keep you updated on that. But back to her vet story. We don't know the full history. We're never going to know, and sometimes it's better not to know because it's definitely horrible. We know that. We know from just how we got her that the ending was horrible. But We don't need to concentrate on her past. We don't need to concentrate on her suffering. We can concentrate on our future. And her future is here, it's happy, with friends, with food, everything she needs. She's gonna feel safe, she's gonna feel loved, and she's gonna feel secure. And that's a huge thank you to all of the people such as yourself who've watched our videos and that sponsor and help our animals. If you would like to sponsor directly to her, you can. And one more point, which I hadn't even said. She now has a name since about half an hour, because this is coming out tomorrow, so you will see if you follow us on Facebook, her winning name, and you're gonna be, well, not the first to hear it because this video comes out tomorrow and everyone's found out her name. Now, this is Ava. She's got her first name and her last name, and she's going to live here happily forever as Ava. So if you would like to sponsor and help us to continue rescuing horses like Ava, you can on our website, www.tenerifehorserescue.com/Ava. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week.